Hello and welcome to the channel English Literature A Click Away. Today we are going to have a look at the first chapter of the book First Flight of NCERT Class 10th, that is A Letter to God, authored by G.L. Fuentes. So we will have the explanation of each line here. Rest assured that after we finish the explanation, you will have a clear-cut picture of this chapter so that you are prepared even for the reference to context that may be asked in the board exams. So the story starts with a setting with a house in a valley which is sitting on a crest of a low hill, that is, it is at the top of a hill from where everything surrounding this hill is visible. Even the field where the farmer has sown corn, and it is dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. That means dotted here means that it is densely scattered. The corn is flowering, so it is going to give a good harvest. But the only thing required for this good harvest was a downpour or at least a shower. Now downpour or shower are forms of rain, so it needed some rain, either a heavy one, downpour is a heavy rainfall, or at least some showers, light rainfall. So Lencho is the protagonist, the farmer, that is the main character of the story. Lencho has been thinking and he knows his field intimately, that is very closely, and since morning he has been doing nothing other than looking at the sky towards the northeast from where he expects the clouds holding rain to appear. And then he speaks to a woman who's standing there. He could see the clouds and then he says that now we are going to get some water, that means it is going to rain. The woman was preparing supper. Supper is an evening meal, and she says yes, if God wills, so it will be. So a few boys, the older ones were working in the field and the younger ones are playing around. She calls them for dinner. Now during the meal itself, he realizes that the clouds look very dense. Now as Lencho has known this area for a long time, he has been living there, and he predicts that it is going to be a heavy rainfall and there are going to be big raindrops. So after some time, he goes out and he wants to feel the rain. And suddenly he exclaiming is giving out a shout with all the emotions. It has started raining. So this is a very important line in the chapter. He says these aren't raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5s. So for him, these raindrops, they represent money, they represent coins. He is speaking literally, but there is implicit meaning to that, as in these raindrops will give a good harvest of the crop, and that is how it will turn into a good revenue. So he's comparing the bigger raindrops to 10-cent pieces. Cent is the denomination of money from where he belongs, and the little ones are 5-cent pieces. Then he gives a look at the ripe corn that is coming up in his field, and he sees that it is filled with flowers and it looks as if it is draped. Draped is covered with a curtain of rain showers that are falling now. But then suddenly the climate changes and there's strong wind blowing, and these raindrops turn into hailstones. Hailstones are pellets of hails that fall when the temperature is very low. So instead of raindrops, there are hailstones now. Now these truly actually resemble, they look like the coins that he mentioned. They literally look like coins, and the boys who are playing around, they go out and they start collecting these pearl-like hailstones. But now Lencho is worried, as rainfall was good for crop, even if it was a downpour. But now it was a hailstorm. There was a shower of hailstones which could destroy his crops. So he just hopes that it just passes quickly. He says that I hope it passes quickly, but it does not. So it rains hailstones for an hour. And since his house was at the top of the hill, he could see that everywhere surrounding the hill, the hillside, the garden, the cornfield, the whole valley was covered with white hailstones. It looked as if it is covered with salt. Now, why does he compare this to be covered with salt? He could have compared it as sugar. So this is because sugar is sweet, and this loss which he is going to face because of the hailstorm, this is nothing sweet. So he compares the hailstones covering the field with salt. So not only that, there is not a single leaf remaining on the tree. See, hailstones are quite heavy, and when they fall, they destroy the crop, they destroy the trees, the leaves. So the entire corn crop was destroyed. The flowers which were borne by the crops were all destroyed, and Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. Now, when the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and look at the way he compares his loss. He says, a plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. Plague is a disease. Now here it does not mean actually disease. It is a swarm of, a destructively numerous inflow of. Locusts are type of flying insects which fly in swarms. They come in groups and they jump from field to field and they tend to destroy the crop. So he says, even if there was a plague of locusts, it would have left something on my field. But this hailstorm has left nothing on the field, and he says that this year we will not have any corn left. And he then says that the whole year we have been working and it has been for nothing. So there is no one who can help us now that the crop is destroyed. And he is distraught. He says, we all will go hungry this year since we are not going to have any corn. But in the hearts of all who lived in the solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Although this house is lonely on the top of the hill in the middle of the valley, but whoever lives in this house, they have a single hope that they'll receive some help from God. And he also remembers that somebody once told him that you need not be upset. Even if there is total loss, no one dies of hunger. So throughout the night, Lencho keeps thinking about it and he hopes that there is God and God is going to help him. He remembers that God's eyes see everything, even what is hidden from the human eye. So God's eyes can even look into the deep conscience of human beings. Now Lencho was an ox of a man. Now what does that mean? An ox of a man means he was a hard-working person. He worked like an ox in the field. Although he was a farmer, hard-working farmer, he still knew how to write. He could write. So the next day early morning at daybreak means at dawn, he starts writing a letter which he himself will carry to the town and place it in the mail. Now who has he written this letter to? So he writes a letter to God. What does he write in that? Now he is trying to express, although he knows that God can see everything, but he is expressing his own pain into that letter. He narrates his ordeal. If you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. And he says, I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. And finally, on the envelope he wrote, he did not know the address, so he just writes to God. He goes to the post office, places a stamp and drops it in the mailbox. Now, he has such immense faith in God. Somebody had once told him that nothing is hidden from God's eyes and God is always there to help you. And he's such innocent person, he's a naive person who thinks that if he writes to God, God is going to help him, that the letter would reach God. And hence he prays to God in the letter. He pleads that if you will not help us, me and my family are going to die of hunger. And he's asking for 100 pesos. Now, peso is a basic currency unit in Mexico. So he is asking for just 100 pesos. See, he is not a greedy person. He knows that God is going to help him. He could have asked for as much money as he wants. But he just needs the money that would help him survive this passing year. So he asks for 100 pesos. He says, just help me with 100 pesos so that I can survive this year till the next crop grows. In the post office, one of the postmen finds the envelope addressed to God and he laughs at it because he has never seen in his career an envelope or a letter addressed to God and which has no address on it. And he takes it to the postmaster. Now, postmaster is a friendly fellow. Amiable is friendly. He's fat, but he's a friendly fellow. He also laughs, but he becomes serious and he thinks that what kind of faith this man might have, which has made him write this letter. He has immense faith in God. He says the man who wrote this letter starting up a correspondence with God. Correspondence is communication, writing. So in order to not shake, now postmaster is a friendly fellow. He wants to help him out. Now he knows that God cannot reply to this letter. But he also doesn't want to shake Lencho's faith in God because he knows that this person is innocent and yet he is in trouble. So the postmaster wants to keep his faith in God intact. So he comes up with an idea. When he opens the envelope, he sees that the man does not just need a helpful gesture. He needs something material. And that material thing was money. The postmaster thinks, I need to help him financially. Then he comes up with a solution. He gives up some amount from his own salary and he asks for some money from his colleagues as well, from his employees. And everybody is happy to help. Now it was impossible for them to collect 100 pesos as Lencho had requested to God, but they were able to collect about 70 pesos. Now the postmaster collected this money, he put it in an envelope and wrote Lencho's address on it. And with a letter inside, since Lencho had asked money from God. So postmaster, although he is sending the money, now he wants to do the good deed, but he doesn't want to show it that he had done it because Lencho wanted the money from God. He had faith in God. So that is why postmaster also signs the letter as God. So Lencho comes back the next Sunday. He was pretty sure that there is a letter in his name sent by God. He comes back and the postman hands him over the envelope. The postmaster is sitting inside in his office and he is also watchful. He is also watching Lencho. He wants to see the expression on his face, the expression of contentment, of satisfaction that he had received the money that he had asked God for. But Lencho did not show even a streak of surprise because he was confident that he never had a doubt. He was pretty sure that the letter would be answered. Hence, he did not look surprised when the letter was given to him. But when he opened the envelope and he counted the money, he was shocked and he was furious. Now he thinks that God could not have made this mistake because he had asked for 100 pesos and there were only 70 pesos in the envelope. Now Lencho went up to the post office window and he writes another letter. Now this is again his faith in God that is making him do this. Okay, he believed, he was confident that God is going to send him money. But when he opens the envelope, he finds only 70 pesos over there. And he knows that God cannot make a mistake. And he asks for another paper to write another letter. When he has posted the letter, he has put it into the mailbox. Now see the employees of the post office, including the postmaster of course, they are expecting a thank you note, which of course would mean that he is grateful to the people who have helped him, that is, the post office employees. But now when they read the letter that he has just now written, all are shocked. He writes to God. He says, God, I asked for 100 pesos, but only 70 pesos have reached me. That next time onwards, he is now requesting God that please don't send money through mail. The post office employees are a bunch of crooks. They are thugs. They are thieves. So he thinks that the post office employees have stolen the remaining 30 pesos from his envelope. So what an irony. Okay, so this is an ironic situation where the postmaster was actually expecting a thank you note, may not be directly to him but to God, which would mean a lot to him because he had thought of helping Lencho. But instead, he receives a note from Lencho saying that the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. So, of course, Lencho was wrong in thinking so, but he was also innocent. He had such faith in God that he thought God couldn't make a mistake. Now, the important questions that can be expected from this chapter can be based on Lencho's immense faith in God. The kind of faith he had, and was he right or wrong in calling the post office employees a bunch of crooks? Now this can be a question based on your opinion. The answer can be based on your opinion. So you may either write that he was innocent, he was naive, it was because of his faith that he thought that God couldn't make a mistake and hence he blamed the post office employees. Or you may also write that it was not right, it was unfortunate in fact that the post office employees who had helped him, he did not know that they had helped him. Okay, so post office employees had helped him, but what they received was a name. That is, they were a bunch of crooks. So it was wrong. It was wrong on his part, but given that he was innocent, he was unaware that the post office employees had helped him. We could say that he had too much faith in God, so much so that he could not have given it a thought that somebody else might have helped him, not God himself. There can also be a question based on the raindrops being compared to money, to coins. So I already explained that the raindrops are compared to coins because the rain will give a good harvest. The crop will have a good harvest because of rain, which of course then in turn comes in the form of money. You may also get questions based on character sketch of Lencho or the postmaster. Lencho's character can be pretty confusing. Although he looks like he is greedy, but he is actually not. How do we know that? Because he ask for a specific amount from God. He asked for only 100 pesos, which would help him survive the passing year. So he is innocent, he is naive, he is ignorant, he is unaware. His most important trait is his faith in God, on which this story is based. So you can say the theme of this story mainly is faith in God. How much faith can one have in God? And what can faith in God make you do and believe? So these can be the questions that can be expected. You can also have extract based questions from the chapter. So that is all from this chapter. So we're done with the explanation, and I've also explained the questions that can be expected from the chapter. Questions can be short answer type, long answer type, or extract based questions. So stay tuned with English Literature a Click Away for more such videos based on Class 10th NCERT English Language and Literature.